Hello, folks. Well, welcome to another edition of Lunch with the Legends. And actually, this time we did have lunch before this video. So,
we did, yeah.
So my good friend, Dirty White Boy Jimmy Powell.
Well, we had a good lunch. We had Ward-in-Law's BBQ. About everybody around Georgia knows where that is. It's like the ¡1 barbecue in Georgia, and this buddy of mine owns it, so it was pretty good groceries, wasn't it?
4.9 stars. I would have gave it 6.
He's got a brisket. It's a good one, man.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what. Well, what you doing, man?
Not much. I started this podcast, and this is part 2. Is just kind of get stories of not just people I know, but it's just in different eras of the world, wrestling, rock and roll music.
Yeah.
All this stuff is there's so many cool stories that doesn't get told enough or doesn't get told at all. And just, you know, if you want to give a little history of your bio, of your background, and then some of your favorite stories, is I would definitely enjoy this.
My wife told me to forget everything I'd ever done. So, yeah.
Thank God she's not here in distance.
Yeah, well, you know. But I don't know, man. It just, I got to live a dream. So, I mean, you know, of course, it's been 35 years since I was a full-time wrestler. That's longer than most people have been alive. So,
I've been doing it 37.
But, you know, it's... it was a lot of fun, I guess. I started when I was 14, first match, and I went to work for Nick Goulas when I was 15. So, you know.
Google that, guys. You don't know who Nick is. Google Nick.
Yeah, Google Nick Goulas. He had probably the biggest territory in the country at one time. He was running like 5 live TV shows a week, plus 2 to 3 towns a night. And,
a night?
A night, yeah. He had different crews going in different directions all the time. So, you know, check that out. Bradshaw and Briscoe's podcast they've got right now. They just interviewed George Goulas, Nick's son, and he's got a lot of good history to tell. They did a whole series on the Welch's family and all.
That's a lot of history myself.
Yeah, so it was good. I was blessed to get to do that, but I didn't get to start with Nick. Of course, I was young, 77, and I was just there till the end when he sold out. Matter of fact, I had just graduated high school about close to a year early, and I got me a place to live in Nashville, and he called me that it just sold out. That was a heartbreak, but I'd got to go up and work during the summer. I'd worked for him from the time I was 15 till I was 17, and pull the ring, and you know, and did a lot of stuff like that. Learned how to run towns and things. So he was hiring me to come up and actually work in the office, and then that didn't happen. But so I left. I went to work for the Sheik instead in Detroit. So that was quite an experience. But
the original Sheik, not the Iron Sheik.
No, he was the old Hail Mahoo, you know, the snake and the fire and the whole deal. And he was a character and a half. And I learned a ton from him. He took me all over the South, you know, islands and Trinidad and the West Indies.
Wow.
And, yeah, South America, and I got to work with him in a lot of big soccer arenas around the country. And I wasn't 18 then.
I bet that was a wild crowd.
It was crazy. All you did, you just fought and bled every night. That's all you did. Sheik was a bleeder and he was a cutter, and you know, he used a pencil on. He's like a white Abdullah, you know. Actually, he was before Abdullah. Yeah. But he was the Arab, and he was pretty crazy. But he was a good businessman, smart guy. So I enjoyed that, and you know.
And he was really Sabu's uncle.
He was Sabu's uncle, yeah. He sure was. And
you know, sometimes you hear people say they're kin, but they're really not.
Oh, they were.
Well,
yeah, they were. I don't think I probably didn't meet Sabu when he was little. I met a lot of his kids and his sons and grandkids, but I don't think I met Sabu. But anyway, that was fun. We got up there, and then we just went around to Texas, and, you know, San Antonio, Dallas, and then go down to Continental for a while, and just made a living. 15 years, you know.
Yeah, before it was off camera, I was told Jimmy earlier stuff is got thinking last night before we got here for lunch is we've been knowing each other for right at 40 years.
Almost as long as I've been married.
Yeah, and so I'm truly blessed, and I'll add the picture to this later on. Stuff. My first time I saw him was in Lawrenceville, Georgia. He had like mohawk, long hair, and then like racing stripes on the side like that, and just.
Yeah. I remember the night we did that. Randall Brown did that to me in Commerce, Georgia. And Tracy woke up the next morning crying because she said we couldn't go anywhere by ourselves without being recognized anyway, and now we surely couldn't.
Yeah.
So, you know.
You see the photo, you'll see it'll make more sense. But it was you couldn't hide it unless you had a big hat.
No, I wore a hat or a bandana a lot back then. per her request. But
And she's still with us today, so that's love.
yeah, she's still here. Thank the Lord.
So what's some of your cool favorite stories that you can tell without getting nobody in real serious trouble?
Oh Lord, I don't know. I guess when I went to Dallas the last time for Jarrett's, I remember that was when cell phones had just come out. I remember Ronnie Gossett and Jeff Jarrett called me one night on Jeff's car phone. It wasn't really, it was one of them in a bag, you know.
Yeah, yeah, they had to plug into the, yeah.
And I talked, so I remember that was the first person I ever talked to that I knew was on a car phone. And I thought, well, this guy's got some money. I'll go work with him. But, you know, I remember those kind of days. I remember the first time in Dallas, I was in San Antonio, and I went into a convenience store. I'm dating myself. And I saw bottled water. And
I don't think about that.
I thought, what is this? And the girl says, it's bottled water. I said, here's what I said, it'll be a cold day in hell when I buy a bottle of water. Well, folks, it's something, it ain't cold in hell, but I've bought tractor trailer loads of water. So yeah.
Times have changed, right?
Man, I'm telling you, so you just, through the years, you think about different things.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, and you know, I remember seeing in Atlanta with me and Terry Gordy was living in Hateville, and there was one Chick-fil-A in the world.
That's the OG one, isn't it?
Yeah. The
Dwarf House.
The Dwarf House.
Yeah.
And it was chicken sandwiches, and I thought, chicken sandwich? You know, who in the world come up with that? Yeah. You know, that won't ever work.
Why?
That won't fly, because hamburgers is the only thing you buy at a restaurant, you know, fast food or anything, because there wasn't many fast foods. But yeah, I remember that too, so that's pretty funny. Like I said, I'm dating myself, but hey, you know, life's been fun.
That's what I tell people. I started as a joke. I don't know if it makes sense, but I'm old for a reason, you know. And we've lived through a lot of stuff. Not, you know, you've seen a lot more madness than the rest of us, but just I never thought about the bottled water till now. Like, you just see it. It's like you just think it's always
so
been there.
natural. Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it didn't make any sense in those days.
And phone booths, nobody knows what a phone booth is anymore.
No.
Or having to keep spare change so you could make that phone call.
Yeah. I remember I was wrestling in Tennessee, and just when I was in the summer up for Nick before he sold out, and Tojo Yamamoto was always helping me, and I liked Tojo a lot. And Tojo would say, "Have you called your mama?" You know, I'd say, "No, I was too busy chasing girls.
Yeah,
I didn't care about calling mama." And so Tojo would give me quarters and make me go to the payphone and call my mother and tell her I was okay. So
that's a good man.
Yeah, he was considerate. She told me not long ago, she said, you know, did you know he called me one time to tell me he was okay because you didn't call me? And I said, no, I didn't ever know that. But
it's stuff like this is you never know backstories of things that people did just because it was the right thing to do or whatever.
Yeah, I read a lot of things people have said. Most of the people that say things like this weren't even born back then, but they'll say things about Tojo and how, you know, how underhanded he was or something, how, you know, and he was like a daddy to me. I mean, he was good to me. You know, I was putting up a wrestling ring, and right there, see that little scar?
Yep, little nick.
That was a piece of a splinter out of one of the pieces of plywood, because plywood back then went up in my hand. And so I had to go to the doctor and have it removed, and they packed it and dressed it, and then Tojo would repack it in the dressing room for me.
Clean it and repack?
Clean it. Yeah, he was good to me. I mean, you know, he always took care of me. But I don't know. I like the guy, and I'm one of those guys that when somebody's good to me, I'll stand up for the rest of their life. You know, that's the way I am with Nick Goulas and George and all them. Everybody, you know, especially some of these people using poor George Goulas for clickbait these days. But you know, I commented on somebody's website the other day that he is absolutely not the worst wrestler that's ever got in the ring. Apparently they hadn't seen him in the last 20, 30 years. But anyway, you know, I won't get on harp on that stuff. No. But you know, I don't know what you want me to talk about.
Who's your favorite promoter to work for?
The two people for two different reasons.
No, go. No.
I absolutely love Nick Goulas because he started me at 15 years old. And he taught me, and matter of fact, George Messenger then told me, he said, my dad really thought a lot of you. And that meant a lot to me because I loved him. Jerry Blackwell was my other one. Jerry Blackwell was the most fair man I ever worked for. Nick was a good man. He's a great businessman, but Nick's payoffs were terrible. But I wasn't, you know, I was 15 years old. I'd get $15 for TV, $25 for the house shows. You know.
And you do at the time too, weren't you?
Yep, I was. So And then when I started renting the ring, I was getting $75 a night to pull the ring, which was okay. That's pretty good back then. But you know, then when I went to work for Georgia Championship Wrestling in Barnett, they paid me $125, and I thought, man, I am pooping in high cotton. You know, and the minimum guarantee was $60 to work, and I was like, golly, you know.
Just to pull the ring and put it up?
Just to pull the ring, I'd get $125, and then $60 for, you know, if I sold tickets or if I, you know, refereed or if I wrestled, whatever they needed me to do, Jim Barnett would pay you, and he'd pay you the minimum guarantee. So he was a good payoff man too. But Jerry Blackwell was a good man and a fair man and a good payoff man for me, and I could never say anything bad about him. I thought the world of him.
And this won't make sense to some of the younger guys, but your favorite territory to work in and why?
My favorite territory. I had a ton of fun working for Jared in Dallas, and we were flying to Dallas, and so we were. Just to give you a run of this thing, Mondays we're in Memphis,
okay.
Tuesdays in Louisville, Wednesdays in Evansville, Thursdays I was in the spot show. Friday morning we flew to Dallas, Texas. Wrestled at Sportatorium Friday night. Saturday morning we did TV in Dallas, Texas. Got directly on a plane, flew back to Nashville and wrestled in Nashville Saturday night. And then Sunday we usually did a spot show in Kentucky for Eddie Marlin. So we worked 7 days a week. But it was fun. Ronnie Gossett was my manager, and he's my favorite person I ever knew in the world. He was my friend. I loved him. And he made it fun. He made it fun. My face, every night when I go back to the room and lay down, my face would be sore from laughing.
Very irritated if you've ever been around Ronnie.
So I liked that, okay. But honestly, the best money I ever made was probably working here for Jerry Blackwell. But Continental was fun. I just didn't last long. You know, got a new booker, and he, you know, sometimes when a new booker comes in, he brings his own crew in. That's what Robert Fuller did. So, you know, that's okay.
It was just the way the business was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And I loved working for the Sheik, even though it wasn't a great payoff time. I was a kid, and I'd seen him on TV, you know, every magazine that you seen. But you know, that was the thing. So you know, every magazine had the Sheik in it.
Yeah,
I got to see that. Yeah, and so I got to work with him a lot, and that was really cool. So I don't know. I was blessed, you know, to get to go to Louisiana. I didn't work for Watts very much. I did a few jobs for Watts, but then there's another guy started running, and Buck Robley was his booker, and so we had a big crew down there working in Mississippi and Louisiana some, and that was fun. But you know, traveling with Terry Gordy was always a blast. Never knew what you're going to end up doing.
Always a new day, right?
Terry was fun. Terry was a good man. He had a sweet heart. He just had a lot of demons, but we all did back then. So you know, it was rough.
On my personal note is I think some of my fond memories of us is the Mobile Wrestling Union.
Oh, absolutely.
And I call it the Dudley White Boy Tour because he took us around different places of the Mobile and these ships and just all areas like that, having good times. It was
and good food.
Good food, good times.
You know, when you're with me, there's always good food.
Look at me, I'm healthy. I'm a healthy guy. Here we are having lunch. But I think my all-time favorite was, and the mark moment to me was when we did the show in Rome. It was Thanksgiving night. It was an 8-man tag, or it was some kind of crazy tag, but I actually got to tag with this gentleman here, like that stuff, and I was super excited about that. And I'll have to dig through and find the photos, but
that was nice. That's nice of you. I watched that video, part of the video or something. I'm guided, I think, and man, I was 40 pounds heavier at least than now. There's another one, me, Tommy Rich, your brother, and some Reigns, Bulldogs.
Yeah, Scott.
And we were in a tag match after I had quit wrestling too, for some Ben Masters, I think, ran it. He got us to all come. Me and Tommy was against Steve and Bulldog, and Bulldog's the only one that had him business in the ring. I mean, the three of us were fat. Boy, Tommy was back before his back surgery. He was bent over, and Daryl and me were both blowed up. You know, so
yeah. But,
Lordy, I don't know.
I mean, here we started dating, and I'm truly blessed to have you and Tracy, and having these moments again like that. We definitely need to do more often, and I'm glad that Bobby does his luncheons. I do miss the Mobile.
I miss the Mobile more than anything we ever done, probably. Yeah. I wish there was something else. They tried to get me to do something up here like that, but
it's just so hard.
It's so hard to get everybody together, you know. And people are dying now faster. And,
something makes everybody happy is the hard part.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I didn't like this hotel, or I didn't like this location.
Yeah.
But Mobile was just...
Mobile was perfect.
It was.
It was easy. And they've been doing it a long time, and it's kind of one of them deals where this is what we're doing, and if you don't like it, don't come. I like that. Yeah.
Don't show up.
Yeah, don't come.
Okay.
I mean, one year we was there, and we had Stan Hansen and Ernie Ladd and all those guys were there that I hadn't seen in 100 years, and it was just great to get to sit there and listen to their stories. I didn't open my mouth. I just listened, And,
we did the TED shows, and we did 3 years out. Is getting everybody together. The Bob came up there one year, and just see people had seen Nick Busey came in one year from Pittsburgh, and it was just having everybody come together for a good cause. But just to catch up was all. It did my heart good to see that many people taking photos and marking out for one another and stuff like that stuff. It was pretty cool.
It was a lot of fun. It sure was.
Anything you want to plug before you get out of here?
Well, I'm here in Lafayette now. If you guys ever come, that's Lafayette. They say Lafayette anywhere else but Georgia.
Lafayette. We gotta be different.
Walker County. I've been for 20 years, going on 20 years, pastor at Harbor Lights Baptist Church here in town. We've got a Tuesday night men's ministry that I'm crazy about. I love. And so, just a lot of good stuff going on here in town. If you ever come to Lafayette, come by and see us at Harbor Lights if you're here on Sunday or Wednesday or Tuesday. And I'd love to see you.
Cool. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We're beyond this. We're ahead.
Yeah, we are.
As old Poops and Pops like to say, peace, love. See you later. Oh, maybe not. I hit the button.